afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to round 2 of the Six Nations. This one between Ireland versus France for the opening game of the weekend. Many people before the Six Nations called this one the game for the Six Nations. Both of these teams' favourites. It was always going to be a big game. Ireland are having the home advantage in this one, and how much will that play a part in this game? France looking to come back from their defeat, if you remember, last week versus Italy, which surprised a lot of people, whereas Ireland managed to take the win from Wales over in the Principality. And it is Ireland who get off to the strong start as James Lowe can be seen going down the wing. Now it's going to be a battle of the forward packs potentially today, because both of these teams are so good in that breakdown situation. We've seen how good the French defence has been, especially getting those turnovers, but the breakdown situation is one of the really strong areas for that Ireland team, as well as Tadhg Beirne begins to try and make a break down that wing. Probably would have wanted a bit of a speedier man out on that far wing. Not to say that he's slow, but there's probably better speedsters on this Irish team. Talking of those turnovers, France with their own straight away. Potentially a bit of a high tackle there from Tadhg Beirne. France tried to play it short. The offload game going to be a big one in this to avoid those breakdown situations. Don't let this game get away from you. Seems to be isolated there. Fickou going on his own. Peter O'Mahony, he feels like he's seen a gap. James Ryan gets it out to James Lowe. The James's partner here goes for that up and under. Can he collect his own kick? No, he can't. Oh, and the French fullback, fair enough, manages to get out from behind his own try line. We'll see how France play this one. You would be thinking there needed to be the kick away. Josh van der Flier gets tackled on the line. The referees had to go back and look at it and has awarded the try to Josh van der Flier. You would have believed they probably needed to get that kick away. He did so well to get back over that touchline. But Antonio filling out in that scrum half position. We didn't get to see Dupont. The ball dropped by Entomac. Potentially a high tackle. And they managed to actually score the try from there. I thought it was close. It looked just before the line. They did check it for a double movement. But Josh van der Flier goes over for that try. And Sexton will be extremely happy with an easy conversion within the first quarter of this game. 13 minutes in, 7-0 to Ireland. Let's see how France will react to this one. Sexton plays the ball back downfield, thinks he's seen a bit of room. The wind behind them by the looks of it with how that ball's bouncing, and he's found himself right in the corner. France have to clear the wind going against them though, and the rooms beginning to open up in that backfield. Hugo Keenan thinks he's seen some room in the backfield as well, just pinning France back. They're going to have to do something big here. That's a relatively good clearance, to be fair. Doesn't look like he's going to find touch. They probably would have wanted it to. Hugo Keenan on that counter-attack as McCloskey takes it in. Big unit. France have to commit 2 men, but a great turnover. And Dupont gives them some good meters gain there. Keith Earls going for that counter-attack run. Gets a little bit stuck. Andrew Porter having to throw his own weight in there with some good little side steps. It looks like a French player was actually caught offside there. The referee hasn't picked up on it. Definitely some illegal play. France getting away with a bit of a lucky one there, and because of the pass, they've managed to receive the ball back on a turnover. Ireland will slow this one down a little bit. James Parks dropped back into the pocket. Not sure if Johnny Sexton has picked up a bit of an injury. It's a great clearance kick though. Will it find touch for a big meter gain? It doesn't look like it, as the French fullback superb on that counter-attack, being a bit of an MVP so far in that opening quarter. Tadhg Beirne ran out for the interception, doesn't manage to collect it. Ireland will just want to spread their defence a little bit wider. There are gaps opening up on that outside as there's a poor pass back inside. Didn't look to his left. There was definitely men overlapping. Ireland slowed down the play a little bit more as Tadhg Furlong goes backwards in the tackle. Not used to saying that one. A superb dominant tackle there by the French as there's a high tackle going in from Gaël Fickou. This was one of the things we saw last week for France. Discipline in that defensive area. Gaël Fickou hitting round the back of the head. Manages to get away with a yellow card. To be fair, that could have easily been a red card. We're all aware of the new tackle laws that have come in this year. I think he'll be lucky to have got away with that. Johnny Sexton tries to play it down in the corner and does get a extremely good kick. Huge territorial gain. And now France are also down in that center position. They're down a back. Let's see how Ireland managed to make the most of it. But France steal it back. They're a great nation in terms of their line-out. I think it was Gregory Aldrit that managed to get over there. The maul also gaining a few meters. The French forwards are keeping them in this at this point. They go for the play out. This is where it went wrong for them earlier on in the game. Let's see what they can do. It's a better clearance kick from Dupont, which will probably get to touch, and does. Yellow card going well. James Lowe's taking it quick. What a big call that was. I didn't know if they wanted to set up. They want to make the most of this yellow card. Let's see what they can do on this wing. James Lowe, though, having to try and step around. Ntamack walks into touch himself. Didn't even need to get tackled out. They won't be too happy with that one. They'll be looking at that in the training session next week. Gibson Park gets a nice little offload to Pito Manny, who runs it up with a solid straight arm fend. They want to spread this wide. Ireland really haven't made the most of that extra man until we see Tyke Byrne just plowing through people. What a superb run for him. Gains those good meters, and Sexton goes himself for the try line. It opened up the yellow card. The extra man in that defensive backline has begun to prove the undoing in a French defence that has been really good up until now. What a great pass this was from Sexton. Began the move as we saw Tyke Byrne running it up, just fending off the tackles. Good cover tackle by Ntamack, managing to save them there, but no one on that pillar in that ruck format to actually stop Sexton walking over himself. And again, unfortunately for France, it's another easy kick to start off with. Ireland are off to the best possible start they could hope for in this game. First half, 2 tries already, and just to double down on the pain, it's a very poor kickoff from Romain Ntamack. Won't be happy with that one as Ireland get the final stages of this yellow card. It will probably run out just before the half-time whistle, but Ireland are in a great position now with a scrum, with an extra man in that backfield. Ireland will want to make the most of this as soon as possible. I'm sure they'll want to get the ball out of the scrum straight away, and that's exactly what we see as Gibson Park hits the gas. He gets it out. No, he can't get the pass away to Sexton. They want to make the most of that extra man. Gaël Ficou has come back onto the field just before this halftime whistle. Ireland haven't made the most of the advantage. It looks like there's been an injury in that midfield to Romain Ntamack. He's still limping a little bit. The ball is passed forward as France began to make a bit of momentum, but that injury could be a big one, as I think we'll probably see Matteo Jalibert coming on in that first half. Let's check out the highlights from that first half. What a fantastic opener it's been to this weekend of the Six Nation. Ireland coming away in that first half with a great 14-point lead is exactly what they were hoping for. Ireland on the offensive straight away have been trying to run this game. We saw a couple of cheeky kicks over the top getting into that backfield. The French backline has been fending it off pretty well, managing to get their own clearance kicks, but not managing to find touch, not managing to get themselves those extra gain meters. It was a mistake that came earlier on in the first half, though. Dupont out of action from the ruck situation. Antonio filling in that scrum half position. You kind of wish you'd seen them box kick it out. They don't manage it, and we saw the ball drop by Ntamack as Josh van der Fleer goes over the try. We did check it on the TMO, and he did score that try and an early conversion as well for Sexton. And then later on into the half, the yellow card for Gaël Ficou, just allowing that extra man in the backfield. Tyke Byrne with a superb run, hitting the hole, fending off players, and Johnny Sexton went himself. Leading from the front is the captain. We go in at half-time 14-0 with France having a lot to do. France get the kickoff underway. I am receiving news that Jalibert has in fact come on as Sexton manages to gain that kick back. So that injury to Ntamack has seen him go out of the game and has made a few mistakes anyway today. Hopefully Jalibert will input a bit of energy into this team that they're lacking so far as McCloskey finds the room and goes to the pass over the top. James Lowe is on the outside. He seems to be on his own. It's a foot race. Oh, there's an incredibly late tackle. The referee seems to have not spotted it. Pito Manny takes it right up to the line. France are in all sorts of desperations very early on in this first half. They go for the crossfield kick. Oh, there was nearly a superb crossfield kick try. France managed to exit well. We'll go on to the line-out. Ireland making a few changes very early on into this second half. Bit surprising to see, but they're trying to make the most of it. Experienced heads coming on. Conor Murray has come on along with Bundy Aki, so that partnership now going to be linking up from those set pieces. Maybe those experienced caps will see them improve. However, we see a mistake very early on as Josh van der Fleer tries to carry it up. France doing well to hold out there and get the clearance kick. They get a good kick, to be fair. Hugo Keenan will be running this back. He'll just want to clear his lines. It's a good kick, to be fair. Manages to get out towards the halfway line. There's also been a change at the lock department as Ian Henderson has come on. Oh, it's a great breakaway. He manages to eventually get him down. Ian Henderson's come on in that lock department, but it isn't enough to help in that line-out situation. France desperately trying to get back into this game as they smash their way through on the wing. Jack Conan has also come on in that number 8 shirt to try and add a bit of power into those forwards. Ireland just going to want to sit themselves down for a second here and organise themselves. Pin back where they didn't expect to be. They'll pass back to Ringrose, who goes to clear. Doesn't look like he's hit it correctly off his foot. It's actually gone back in field, giving France the opportunity to make a huge counter-attack back inside. They're playing lovely looping passes going on the outside out to Villiers. We know how good he is this close to the line, and he gets over. France are making the comeback. All those changes for France just making a massive impact. Sorry, the changes for Ireland. I've misspoke there. The changes have come from Ireland. We've only seen the one change for France, Matteo Jalibert, but it was the forwards. Look at this lovely interlooping play coming in here as it goes out to Villiers. Superb little spin around Keith Earls there, and a poor tackle from Hugo Keenan in that backfield sees France pull it back. Now, Jalibert, of course, coming on for that earlier injury to Roman Ntamack. Let's see if he can take over those kicking duties like they need him to. Slots it through the middle. That's exactly what France want. France are pulling this game back. Ireland need to step up their game in their second half. After such a good first half, the opening quarter to the second half is just beginning to get away from them. France employing a few more offloads now, and we're seeing it go occasionally correctly like that. Oh, but a hands and a ruck penalty is not going to help them. We saw Vakatawa there go straight off his feet. He won't be happy with how that worked out. Ireland have opted to go for the post. They're playing for the win. They know potentially Six Nations on the line from this game. The 3 points is potentially the way to go there. Takes them back out to a 10-point lead. Big ask on this French team now to come back. They need the 2 scores to get back into it, and it's another poor kickoff, but Ireland have collected it. They will avoid any sort of infringement from that kickoff, even though it was not the best. James Lowe now tries to take it up, goes for a long looping pass, thought he saw room in that midfield. A bit of a wild call, not sure I would have gone for that one myself. Tyke Byrne gets a nice pop pass up to Van der Fleer, out to Keith Earls, who tries to make a breakaway. Superb cover tackle from Dupont, managing to get back across there. There was a man completely isolated with a wealth of room to run around in, as Sexton will now take this on. Can he get the ball out to Van der Fleer? Goes for the little pop pass, thinks there's room as Peter O'Mahony takes it himself, gets the offload out to James Lowe. Another cover tackle. Guess who it is, ladies and gentlemen? It's Dupont once again. He's run across the entire length of the field to get back for that second cover tackle. Superb defence from the scrum half there. We'll see how Ireland take on this line out with their substitutions in the forwards now. You hope they'll be getting on okay. Conor Murray takes it out to Gary Ringrose, who hits the line and hits the gap himself. He's going to go for the one-man run. Can he collect his own pass? He does manage it, but France are going to be put on the back foot. France desperately trying to spread out. The Irish line doesn't look that great, to be fair, as Johnny Sexton tries to kick it through the gap, tried to mix it up a little bit, doesn't work for them, and now the Irish defensive line is caught out of position as France are making the breakaway. They know the score needs to come as soon as possible in order to give them that chance to get the second score. It'll fall back into the hands of Hugo Keenan, who's just going to poise himself to try and get this one off the field. I think the wind is actually going to keep it back inside and put them under a bit of pressure. Not what they expected. They just wanted to clear the lines. France, into the final 5 minutes, have got to make a big impression as Jalibert breaks through the line. A lovely little show and go from him. And now Ireland are down in men on this wing as France try to get the offloads. They just can't do it. There's no one marking Villiers on this outside wing as he goes again. What a game this boy has had. Unfortunately, just gets pushed into touch. Ireland are saved right at the end there by their final tackle. Foot just hitting the touchline there. Ireland will be happy trying to hold this out for the final minute of the game in their own half as Hugo Keenan goes on a surging line, but France turn it back over. It's very interesting in the final minute. Have France suddenly regained an opportunity to draw back some big points, potentially a losing bonus point in this game if they can get it? Ireland are trying to get involved in this ruck now. France are also fighting it out. They'll try and get it off the park, but it's Tyke Furlong, not the man you want to be kicking the ball into touch potentially. You probably would have wanted Johnny Sexton there as Villiers again getting away down this wing. France suddenly have the opportunity to get back in. It's just absolutely mayhem at this final minute of the game. There's another big injury. Jalibert has picked up a knockdown. Both fly halves. How will that impact the Six Nations later on? Ireland just can't seem to get their possession in order as Jalibert, with a limp, is charging through the line. He's managed to find that extra bit of room. A lovely spin out on the wing. Villiers screaming for the ball, and Ireland managed to secure it and get it kicked off the park. What an exciting end to that opening game of the Six Nations. Ireland will be incredibly happy with that first half performance. The second half performance slipping away. That man there, Gael Ficou, with his yellow card, how instrumental was that towards that Irish victory today? Ireland will be very happy with themselves. 17 points to 7, and the Six Nations Grand Slam hopes still alive for Ireland. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.